I just showed up on site. I saw the keys are inside this excavator, so let's start it. No joke, this is gonna be a blast. Welcome to Landover, lot number 2. Imagine you see a home on the market for $650,000. You could build that exact same house for $500,000 with only 5% down on the $500,000, which is a whole lot less than the $650,000 down payment. And you could build it yourself and move in with positive equity day one. Your neighbor might buy that new construction home and be negative equity, but you don't have to. Welcome to Landover, lot number 2. We found this lot off market and we added sewer. We've added permanent electrical, and we also got temporary power for course of construction. And we've added water laterals where we're gonna install water meters for this development. We then added this asphalt approach, poured a curb and sidewalk, and now we're ready to build 2 houses on this 2-lot short plat. We've got building permits approved on top of the development, and now we're gonna break ground on this new construction build. I think our goal is gonna be build this home in less than 5 months. Let's see if we can get it done. My name is Ruben the Builder, and about 7 years ago, my new construction and real estate journey started just like this. I bought a lot, I didn't really know what I was doing, I had very little experience, and I built and sold my very first house for over $53,000 of profit while working a full-time job. What you see happening right now here at lot 2 is going to be a dig out. So we have a surveyor that we call out, and the surveyor does offset markers. So in other words, this stake, the house is actually going to follow this contour right about over here. It's usually around 2 feet off. And so the excavator digs a little bit more than we need to, gets to that solid soil, removes all this loose topsoil that has weeds and organics in it that can rot. And we get to this solid soil right here. We're going to call the surveyor out back again today, and he's going to install a stake with an actual pin on that stake showing the exact property corner where we need to start forming up the foundation. Then we're gonna have the foundation contractor come out, and he's gonna start forming out the actual house. Right here we have our patio where we're gonna have the backyard of the home. This is gonna be the kitchen. I'm standing in the kitchen right here. And then right over here is gonna be the pantry. So this is kind of how the home is gonna be looking like. It's pretty cool. You know, after building so many houses, I can start to visualize and see what these homes will look like. But when I first started, I didn't. That's why I've created the 7-step process. If you click that link below, it's the top pinned comment. You can download my free PDF that shows you all 7 steps to actually building a house, finding the land, underwriting the numbers, understanding plans and designs, permits, financing, the whole 9 yards. And I can help you build your very first house just like I did. When I started, nobody wanted to help me, but I want to help you build your very first house. And honestly, guys, I love this game. It is so much fun. It's so enjoyable to wake up every day and go to projects like this and get to put new construction deals together. Okay, so one of the very first steps is gonna be finding land. So in this case, we found this land off market. We worked directly with the seller. We split this lot in 2. We're gonna be building a house for the owner over there, and we're gonna be building a house right here, lot 2, which is gonna end up being roughly, it's around 2,700 square feet, but there is 600 or 700 of unfinished space above the garage, so it could be a 3,500 square foot house if you were to finish that space. Once you find the land, you verify that utilities are there. In this case, we brought all the utilities there. You're gonna get into underwriting to make sure that this deal financially makes sense. In this situation, we got the lot for about $106,000, and we added around maybe $60,000 to get the utilities, asphalt, everything completed, installed, permits, all that different work. And so we're in this lot around a total of roughly $175,000 plus or minus. So normally when you're finding land, you have to know what you're going to build on the land before you actually put in an offer and purchase the land. In other words, you never want the land to be more than 20% of the final build value. So let's just say that appraisal came in on this property at $1 million. If we multiply that $1 million by 20%, that's gonna give us a value of $200,000. If we're at $175,000 on this piece of land, that means we are in a good deal. We have a $25,000 profit already on the buy on the land. Once we have underwriting complete, we understand that the final build value of the home, we understand the land value of the home, and last but not least, we're gonna have construction value. In my area, we're building anywhere from $140 per square foot up to $150 per square foot. We have the 3 key numbers: land, construction cost, and final build value. That's gonna be the most important to get to your 20 to 25% ROI on a deal, which we should be a little bit more on this one, it just depends. You're going to go in and submit your permits. So permits are usually drawn up by a drafter. They don't need to be drawn up by a licensed architect. A licensed architect typically is doing more commercial work. We get the plans drawn up by a drafter, then we go to a structural engineer who actually provides us the structural calculations, the size of the footings, the size of the beams, the size of the hold downs in case of an earthquake, and we pay for that stamp anywhere between $2,000 to $3,000 depending on the engineer. Once we submit those plans, we get those permits, we're now onto step 4. We can move on to step 5 and get the financing in place. We've gone all this way, we have the land under contract, we've got the building permits, we've drawn them up, we've got it engineered. It's time to get the loan in place. There's 2 different types of loans here. What you need to know is your land and your construction cost. That's gonna be a really important number. And you have 2 different methods here. If this was your personal house and it was a $1 million house, 5% down on $1 million would be $50,000. But here's the catch. We're not gonna build it for $1 million. We're gonna already have that profit in mind. And what did we say the profit was gonna be? Roughly $175,000 for the land. If we're gonna be building, let's just put the numbers together. A 3,000 square foot house times $140 per square foot, 420,000 plus that 175,000. We only have to put down 5% on the 595,000. In this case, we would only have to put down $30,000 instead of $50,000. Now, if you're building a investment property, you're gonna have to put down anywhere from 15 up to 25% depending on your experience. For my students, I pair them up with a builder so that they have the experience and they can get the better lenders. Just for round numbers, $595,000 for that investor loan. Typically it's asset-based, would be $120,000 down instead of $50,000 down. So for the investment loan, if the total lot plus the construction loan is $595,000, the total down payment on that would be roughly $119,000 if you're gauging 20%. You would need to include that builder fee. For my students, I pair them up with a builder so that they have the experience so they can get a better lender, typically at 15% down. It just depends on your lender. And so you see the difference here, $30,000 if you were to build it, $50,000 if you were gonna buy it on the market, and $120,000 if you were gonna do an investment property. And that's how you could build your very first house. Once you finish step 5 in financing, you get into step number 6, which is gonna be building the actual house. And if you like, share, and subscribe on this YouTube channel, you're gonna watch us build houses start to finish, and we're gonna show you that entire process. Step 6 is one of the easiest steps. It's when all this paperwork comes into real life and you get to see homes being built. Guys, step 6 is really just adult babysitting. You're working with professional subcontractors, making sure that they get their work done, signing the proper contracts, never paying them up front for work that they haven't done. That's a really important rule. Up until you get your certificate of occupancy at the very final stage of the build. And you can move into step number 7, which is either going to be selling the home or it's going to be moving into it for your primary residence. So I'd love to see your comments below on what you guys want to see from us. We've been watching your comments, responding to them, and building them out exactly on how you guys want them. So like, share, subscribe, and let's crush it.